Hello and welcome to the Lulu and Hazel Quilt Shop. My name is Charity and today we will be working on embroidering this Designs by Juju Bunny Kisses and Easter Wishes embroidery and applique design on a 14-inch pillow blank. I will link the design and all the items I'm using in the description of this video so you can make your own Easter pillow if you would like. If you're new to our channel, my sister Kristen and I started the Lulu and Hazel Quilt Shop in Southern Oklahoma in 2016, and we named the shop after our dogs. I get asked at least once a week which one of you is Hazel and which one is Lulu, so don't feel bad if you thought those were our names. Aside from selling quilting fabrics and supplies and long-arm quilting services in our shop, we also sell Janome sewing machines. So today we will be using the Janome Continental M17 embroidery and sewing machine to complete this wonderful project. If you have any questions about the Janome M17 or anything you would like to see future videos on, let us know in the comments, or if you just love your M17, we'd love to hear about that too. First things first, we need to download our design after purchasing it from Designs by Juju's website and send it over to the machine. Today I'm using my Apple iPad to accomplish this along with the Janome Embroidery Link app. I have a shorter, more detailed video over just the process of downloading the design and using Embroidery Link to send the design to your machine that I will link in the description so you can see that a little bit better. For the purposes of this project, I'm not editing the design at all. I'm just selecting the size I want. I believe I did the 8" by 8" here. As long as I have made sure to select the correct hoop that I'm using and send the design over to the machine will automatically place it in the very center of my hoop. That's exactly what I want for this project. If I'd wanted to resize it or flip it or any number of different edits, I could do them either in the app or on the machine itself, but for this purpose I just want the design how it was designed and I want it right in the middle of my hoop. Once the design is sent to the machine, it's time to gather my supplies so I can hoop up the project. We just got these OESD pillow blanks in the shop and I was so excited to try them out. These blanks are great because they already have the zipper installed. So the zipper is installed, the three sides are serged but not sewn together. So you can just embroider on the side that you're going to embroider on, then flip it inside out, sew up the edges and flip it back. We're also using today this OESD Stable Stick Stabilizer. This is a sticky tear-away stabilizer. This is great for any project that you want to float, anything that you're not able to actually hoop in the hoop, whether it be an awkward size or, you know, that just necessity of speed and time, you want to float it. This is a good option. This is so you want to load this in your hoop with the glossy side up. The glossy side is just a paper covering that sticky side. Just think of it like a giant sticker. So once it's all hooped, I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to just lightly score that glossy paper side. I want to make sure that I'm not actually cutting through. I don't want to poke a hole in my stabilizer. I just want to score that glossy paper. This allows me to get my fingernails under that paper and peel it away, revealing that sticky side. And then once that's done, you can just stick down whatever that you want to embroider, and it's really great. Just a side note here, but I love having a family business that is a quilt shop because there's always someone to visit with. Whether it's one of my amazing customers that have become a good friend, or it's a family friend who just stopped by for a cup of coffee and to visit, we have really excellent people through our doors every day. Here my friend Kathy came up front to chat with me while I worked, and I love visiting with Kathy. She's a joy. It was pretty easy to get this pillow blank lined up in the center of the hoop because it had been folded in a package, so I just lined it up with the fold marks with the center marks on the hoop, and I just made sure it was straight with my eye. Your eye is a very accurate tool when lining things up. Some things need to be very accurately measured, don't get me wrong, but also don't underestimate your own ability to eyeball something. Once the project is all hooped up and ready to go, I inserted the hoop into the machine and I used the trace button to let the machine show me the parameters of my design just to make sure it is hitting the pillow blank where I want it to, and we didn't get something wonky jawed in the hooping and loading process. Then one of my last steps here before we get started is picking our thread colors and threading up. Since this was my bright spring project, I picked bright isocord threads that complemented each other and would really look nice in my design. Mom came in to check on me and got to help me pick my threads. When you're the baby of the family, it doesn't matter how old you are. If your mom is anywhere near, she will always come and check on you. You never grow out of it. And I'm so very blessed to get to work with my mom and my sister and our friends who have become our family every day. I wouldn't have it any other way. Now it's time to show you two of my favorite features of this machine: the automatic needle threader and the optional 5-spool thread stand. We sell the 5-spool thread stand for the M17 in our shop, and it is sold separately from the machine, but it is a really nice addition. Even though the M17 is a single needle embroidery machine, the 5-spool thread stand allows me to have my threads all ready to go and lined up in the order I will need them, which cuts down on oopses for me. There's nothing more frustrating than the realization that your threads got out of order and you embroidered a purple turtle, not a green turtle. I love this thread stand so much, and I utilize it anytime I'm embroidering a project on this machine that uses more than one color of thread. And I can't say enough about the automatic needle threader on the M17. I'm going to make a separate video on the operation of the needle threader, but you can see it work here. First things first is we want to needle up and needle down, and then we want to lock the machine for threading. Then that just allows that the needle is in the perfect position for the automatic needle threader, and that all the tension discs are open and right where they need to be to accept that thread. We're going to go through all the appropriate thread guides that are numbered up top. There are excellent diagrams on the machine and in the manual that show you just the thread path. But the keys to using this automatic needle threader is, once we get down here by the needle, this thread guide that's just above the needle, we want to take our thread in and all the way to the left into that little groove. It'll kind of pop. You want to make sure you're all the way in that groove to the left. Then we're going to take our thread up through what I call the mouth of the alligator. I don't know what it's actually called, but to me, it kind of looks like an alligator, so I call it that. We're going to take it through the mouth of the alligator all the way to the left, and then up over the side of the thread cutter on the side of the machine. And then all we have to do is press the threader button, and it threads every single time. I'm not even kidding you. It is wonderful. I love this machine. Next, all we have to do is press start. So the first thing that's going to stitch out on this design is the only applique in the design is this little Easter egg. I'm using I believe this is a Riley Blake fabric. It's a white with a multicolored dot. I will also link this in the description, but I'm just going to lay that down. It stitched my placement line, so now I'm going to lay down that fabric and let it stitch it down. And then I am going to use my Havel's curved and tip embroidery scissors to pop this hoop out of the machine really quickly. Make sure you just pull the hoop out of the machine, not the project out of the hoop. I'm going to use those curved tip scissors to cut away my excess applique fabric, and the curved up tip allows me to cut away the fabric and lower the risk of me accidentally cutting down through my project. I love these scissors more and more every day. Again, they are linked in the description of this video. And then now it's time for that satin stitch, and this completes our Easter egg, and it's just great. Anytime I do applique, I'm going to have this machine or a machine like it do my appliques from here on out if I can help it, because why would I not? My sister describes it to people as, we used to churn our own butter, and that's great. We didn't have any choice, but now that we have the technology to buy butter in the store, we don't often choose to churn it ourselves. I know some people do, but nonetheless, utilizing technology in your quilting projects or embroidery projects is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be embraced. It makes our lives and our jobs a little bit easier, so don't ever feel self-conscious that you're not doing your appliques by hand if you're letting your embroidery machine do it, because I do it too. And at this point in an embroidery project, a lot of people don't realize you're through the hard part. Choosing your stabilizer, hooping your stabilizer, choosing your project, all of those, hooping your project, that's really the hard part. And as you just saw, that's not even that difficult. The rest of the process is just changing out your thread when it's time for another color change, and the machine tells you when to do that. And there's not a lot of mystery to it. You have a lot of choice. You can at the very last minute you can decide, oh, I don't want to do that yellow, maybe I want it to be orange. So even if your screen says yellow threads next, you have the choice of loading a different thread. So like I said, it's just as easy as knowing how to thread your machine and knowing how to hit that start and stop button. That's one of the things I love most about embroidery, and one of the things I didn't realize when I got started with it, just how simple it is. The machine truly does all the hard work for you. So as you see, we're finishing up here. We'll pull the hoop out of the machine, pull the project out of the hoop, and then it's time to tear away our stabilizer. This, like I said, was a sticky tear away stabilizer, so I've already torn away the big bulk of it, and now I'm just going in with my tweezers and getting the fine areas around the words and between the letters. I'm always a little bit careful. I don't want to just rip at these stitches, although I've never had any trouble ripping a stitch when I tore away my stabilizer. I'm just always a little bit gentle. This is a little hard to film with one hand and tear with the other, but at least you can kind of get the gist. And then I actually finished this project. I started it at the quilt shop. I finished it at home. So I took it home and I actually stitched it together using the Janome 6700. This is also a great and versatile machine. We love it. My sister and I oftentimes try to decide which Janome machine we love the best, and we can't pick, but this one's high on our list. It's one of them that we choose to have in our home. And so again, hard to film sew with one hand and film with the other, but again, you get the gist of how easy this was to put together. And then once you get it done, you've got this beautiful pillow, and it's going to grace somebody's couch through the Easter season. So thank you so much for watching this video. We hope that if you like it, comment and tell us you liked it, and we hope you hit that subscribe button so you see more videos in the future. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Lulu and Hazel Quilt Shop, and we hope you stay warm, happy, and caffeinated. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.